So DJ Akademiks has been taking a beat this past week. It all started when he was on Twitch with the Henny, and he kind of went in on the founders of hip hop, called them Dusty, when it said that a lot of them don't be looking like they got no money, but they always got stuff to talk about the young heads, the young up and coming rappers in the game. And he said they look like they Dusty. You sure that you created hip hop? So of course, everybody who hated Akademiks, this was like the green light go for them to all clown him. So a lot of people went in on that, saying he disrespectful. What does he do for the culture? He's a cancer. And some of the OGs like LL Cool J came out, and LL Cool J was just pretty much saying, don't equate money with success or being beneficial to a culture. And a lot of time, and back then, it wasn't as easy to make money off of it, especially when you go to the founders. There was no money to be made off it. It wasn't a product being sold at the time. It was just an art form, fun. And I think Fat Joe made kind of similar comments. People who hate him, like Ebro and them, Rosenberg, My Son, his enemies ran out to attack him. So I didn't watch the initial video. I watched a clip of it, but I didn't watch the initial video. But I did watch his Act's response after everybody was clowning that act. And I said, well, if there's some context that was missing out of it, Ack will give it to us in the response. So I'll just watch that. So I watched the video, and Akademiks' whole point was saying that he's tired of hearing from the old head rappers, from the OG rappers. All they do is complain about the new rappers. And he said that the old heads, they got screwed out of their deal. Not just the founders, but like every generation after, or every next up and coming rapper after them. They all talk about how they got crappy deals, but they don't put the new people on. It's like they kind of let them get the same bad deal without, giving them game. And all they seem to do is complain about them. And I will say this. After hearing Ack's response of where that whole Dusty rapper thing came from, I do think he misspoke. I do think he shouldn't have said like the founders in general were Dusty. But I do think he had brought up two great topics. One, and Charlemagne brought this up too, because Ack ended up going on the Breakfast Club and kind of explaining himself a little bit more. But I think what Akademiks was saying is true. One of the points that he probably unintentionally brought up was, how do we make things right for the OGs who pioneered, the rap game and paved so many roads for all of us to enjoy this music or make money off this music or whatever. And he's like, there should be some type of a pension thing sent out for them, something to help them, reap the benefits of this culture, which is a good idea, and it's probably never going to happen. Everybody talks a good game when it's a hot topic, but they're just waiting for it to die out, and probably not going to be anything like that for the hip hop people. But the second point that Ack brought up is true. It's like, how come so many of these old head rappers, they come out and they complain about how record labels screwed them over when they first got signed, but they don't have no type of game for the new people and to put them on the business side of things, letting them know like what not to do, what to do, what you got to think about, where about your publishing, where about whatever. And Ack was saying like he does that. He goes and he explains contracts and how they work and how labels think and what they do and tries to really break that down. And Akademiks does do that. So I completely understood his point from there. Is like, if all you guys want to do is criticize, and we're going to start criticizing you, and you haven't done anything as far you're not making the money that you're supposed to be making from being the founder of this, and you're not teaching us from your past mistakes. All you got is negativity about the quality of the music, the sound, how it's not how it's not what you guys made, or it's a lower quality than what was made before. And I can see that point of view from Ack because once. If you are OG, you got all this knowledge of game, and it seems like most of the time you just want to put down my art form, which is something that people did to you when you were younger. Instead of taking that time to, grab these young men by and pull them over to you to the side and have a real conversation about the music industry, about record labels, about how they'll try to set you up, about all that stuff. So you have to understand and respect that side too. But I think that once Ack said the Dusty thing, any type of meaningful conversation he tried to bring to it, that was not going to happen because people don't like Akademiks. So instead of actually dissecting that and breaking it down and having a really good conversation about, maybe we do need to start trying to educate the youngsters and also help get a picture for the OGs, some type of a hip-hop union type thing. Instead of that, it was all just dogpiling on academics, and it just seemed them kept coming. People really didn't like what Ak said, and I'm not defending what Ak said. He was wrong. That sort of generalization of it. And I think Ak even said on the Breakfast Club that he was only really talking about one person, maybe two people, one person for sure, that I guess had been saying some negative things about current day hip hop. But he did kind of, once again, he brought up everybody when he was talking about, once he went into greater detail and started really breaking down like how messed up he felt things were, he kind of talked about everybody, because every rapper has complained about their record deal and their publishing, or almost every rapper, a lot of them have. Yet they don't school the next generation, and they let them suffer too. And he was like, how come you had a crappy deal, and then 15 years later, just talking general, another person has a crappy deal, 20 years later another person has a crappy deal. So yeah, I think that some of the people thought he was going in on LL Cool J when he did his little response, and he was like, nah, you're not even just talking about LL, it's about everybody. It's not LL in particular. He don't know, LL's situation, but he just saying, like, the past generation never really tries to put the next generation on as far as how not to get screwed over with signing to a label. I think there's valid points in that. I know a lot of people may not want to hear that, especially from Akademiks, but I do believe that Akademiks has some valid points with that statement. Just again, maybe not say a blanket, generalization of all the founders of hip hop, call them dusty. I get that too.
It's the WACCast podcast. Yeah. Talk whack to me. Talk whack to me. Yeah. Talk whack to me. Talk whack to me. It's the WACCast podcast. Yeah. Talk whack to me. Talk whack to me. Yeah. Talk whack to me. Talk whack to me.